Hey, Georgia.
Signed with the Minnesota Vikings. They've gone with J.J. McCarthy, a guy who hurt his knee during his rookie season. So how much confidence do they have in him coming off of that injury?
Well, Scooby, I thought it was supposed to be confidential. We're not supposed to share this with the public.
We're going to do this for America.
So, as was told to me, the Vikings feel like J.J. McCarthy in day 9 of these offseason workouts was a lot stronger than day 1. Coming off that knee issue, they knew he could start a little slowly, but they like the way he's throwing the ball. They feel very comfortable with where he's at going into training camp. They didn't sign Rodgers and went with McCarthy because they believe in their 3-year plan. A young quarterback they like on a rookie scale, so they'll be aggressive on the roster without him. They believe they can win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years. Now you got the Colts. Daniel Jones making his move a little bit, minicamp, taking those first-team reps with Anthony Richardson resting his shoulder. Richardson plans to be back for training camp for that battle, but I was told Jones was a fast process at the line of scrimmage, good chemistry with his receivers. He was, quote, very sharp, as was told to me in minicamp as the guy. So it's going to be fascinating once they hit camp in that battle. And you got the New York Jets. So they're all in, buying the expectations of new head coach Aaron Glenn. They got 2 stars that they could potentially pay. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, cornerback Sauce Gardner. I'm told they've had some preliminary talks, exchange some numbers, had all that fun stuff as far as new deals. So they got 5 to 6 weeks to see if they can come to an agreement before training camp on those stars contracts. Speaking of contracts, Terry McLaurin. So this one's a little different because he skipped minicamp. He's been unhappy with his contract situation. I talked to somebody with the team who said, look, we want McLaurin to be a Commander for life. It's just been probably a little slower than everyone expected. These are hard deals to do. That receiver market is well above $30 million per year. He's a star receiver, so they got 5 or 6 weeks before camp to try to shake that out, and then we'll see what happens. Then you got the Browns. So this was fascinating because I was told Kevin Stefanski's plan for his 4 quarterbacks and OTAs and minicamp was to try to get a lot of different guys, different touches in different situations, and they all really answered the bell, including Sanders, who showed the ability to put the ball in some tight windows. He threw with aggressiveness, took some chances, so they like where he sits. Now Stefanski has to formulate a plan in training camp that's probably a little more crystallized, maybe has a little bit of a depth chart to it. They are not there yet, but Sanders has made an impression, there's no doubt.
Really fun time of the year when it comes down to the NFL. And
Serious Sports Talk Radio, we in the building, man. This is the only way we gonna do it. This is the only way we gonna rock. That's the way we rock, and that's the way we do it. Amen. Yeah, so this is how we doing. Get back into it. That shit is crazy.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is Jeremy Fowler. I'm just as tall as him. Appreciate it, brother.
Note, it's no longer confidential because senior NFL rider Jeremy Fowler is here to
why
take
are we
us.
sharing this?
Yeah, right. Now we get to share it.
Oh no, I just think at this point, that whole Shador Sanders shit, bruh, it's starting to get completely out of hand on every way, shape, and form, bro. Like, little bro is just getting blackballed, bro. Like we can't even act like it's not happening. We can't even pretend as if it's not happening. Like, little Brody is just getting blackballed, bro. And it's absolutely messed up. I'll be the first to admit that I think it's fucked up. What can I do when bro getting blackballed? Telling you, shit's different. That's wild, bro. That's like, that's wild, bro.
Parental crust from Little Caesars is the GOAT, the greatest.
Bro, it's like you can't run away from commercials, bro. I'm trying to figure out, like, man. And they force us to watch like the whole thing. Like, do not get paid for this shit, Little Caesars. Fuck y'all. But this really live, bro. Like,
Heck, Shador, many thought he'd be a first-round pick. He wasn't. Not a second, not a third, not a fourth. But in the fifth round, the Cleveland Browns, who had already drafted a quarterback in the third round, seemingly made the mind-blowing decision of drafting Shador Sanders. They said it was great value at that position in the draft. Well, we didn't think Shador was going to get all that many reps after all. He's a fifth-round pick. He's a fourth on the depth chart. The coaches, they came out and said it was going to be an open competition. Again, that's mind-blowing. Why in the world is a fifth-round quarterback, fourth on the depth chart, going to be openly competing with the pick you traded for in Kenny Pickett or a Super Bowl champ in Joe Flacco? But that's what the coaches said nonetheless. Since that point in time, James, let me ask you this. Have your expectations around the most polarizing figure in the NFL right now, Shador Sanders, have they changed?
They have. Since he got drafted, they have changed. Because when he got drafted, I stood up here and I believed you're a 5th rounder. They drafted a 3rd rounder. They traded for a 1st-round quarterback. They signed a veteran quarterback. I'm like, he's going to have an uphill battle to even make this team because I didn't think that he was even going to have the reps to make the
100%.
team. And then the coach comes out and he says, we have a 4-way competition, which means this competition is wide open. And then Shedeur puts some tape out there. It's not game tape, but it's practice tape. And every time you see the tape, it's him throwing a touchdown or a completion. That is what you see. I ain't seen too many incompletions and all that, but whatever you see and whatever you hear is about the young fella getting better. If he steps into this preseason and he plays well and he looks like he's been looking out here at practice and he looks like the Shedeur Sanders from Colorado, you have to start this young boy week 1. Oh, wow. It is going to be so much pressure put on this organization. It has been years and years and years since the Cleveland Browns has had a consistent, good quarterback. And you sneak and get this one in the 5th round. I think if he shows that he can play with this open competition the coach is telling us that they are having, and I believe he's the best one out there talent-wise from top to bottom, put him out there week 1, let him start, and let him go through his ups and downs.
Yeah. So you went from, let me clear my throat, make sure we got this.
Let me clear my throat.
So you went from make the team to now expect him to start if he plays well.
Opportunity to start, yeah.
So I went, and that's, my expectation has changed, absolutely, from when he got drafted, 5th overall or 5th round pick, to now to where we are breaking for summer and about to get into training camp, absolutely. And the second it changed for me was when they said it was a 4-man competition. Right, wrong, indifferent, are you lying or you're not, I don't care. The one thing that I can't go as far as James in saying he's going to start or there's an expectation to start, he still has yet to get a 1st-team rep. So that's my pause in this whole situation. Look, I don't think he should start week 1. I think he's going to be better off coming in off the bench. Now, look, they got to do something with Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. Dylan Gabriel, I don't think the talent level is there like Shedeur Sanders, right? He still went ahead of him in the draft, and so there is some politics that happen, as Acho so eloquently told us a couple weeks ago, like in the NFL locker room. So the expectations for me have absolutely changed, and the expectation for me is to try to get in and play well when you do get those 1st-team reps. Look, even Deuce Staley, okay, the running back coach, drawing conclusions from minicamp, he said, we're out here in pajamas right now. When we're out here in armor, I'll let you know. And that is talking about pads and helmet in preseason games. They have an interesting decision to make if Shedeur Sanders goes out there and balls out. Like I'm talking Dak Prescott-like preseason, like Dak had his rookie year. Now, if he doesn't, I don't know if there's a big enough sample size for him to start, but the expectations for sure have changed in my opinion, and I think in Shedeur's mind too.
Hey, that's just the running back coach?
Yeah.
Deuce. No words, too fast?
Just do say.
My expectations have absolutely changed. Absolutely. My expectations have changed because a lot of what we're hearing from Cleveland has changed. Again, I was a 6th-round draft pick to the Cleveland Browns. So if anybody at the desk, I do know, one, what it's like to play in Cleveland. I do know what it's like to be the latest round draft pick of everybody sitting up here at this desk. As a late-round draft pick, I understand this much. You do not get the same opportunity that those higher drafted than you get, and you do not get the same opportunity that those that have been in the league before you get. Simple as that. Hence why Shedeur Sanders is 4th on the depth chart. Not because he's the 4th most talented, because of where he was drafted. Hence why Shedeur is still yet to get 1st-team reps. Not because he may not be the most talented, because he was drafted in the 5th round and he is 4th on the depth chart. I know that, I live that, I have experienced that. Nothing to brag about. Being drafted in the 6th round, for those that are drafted higher, is nothing to brag about. But I can say that I understand it. But now that the coaches have done this and thrown in this wrinkle, saying it's an open competition, my expectations have changed. Because the platform of which they're letting Shedeur compete from has changed. Being a 5th-round pick, it's not an open competition. Being drafted after somebody who got drafted at the exact same position, it's not an open competition. But if the coaches want to suggest that it's an open competition, now, oh, it's Shedeur. If you got a fair fight, of course my expectations have changed because I believe that Shador is more talented than Dylan Gabriel. I believe he's more talented than Kenny Pickett. Now the question just simply becomes, how long can Shador Sanders compensate for his lack of intellectual prowess that Joe Flacco will have on him based upon being in the NFL for 20 years? How long can Shador compensate that with his athletic ability? So my expectations have absolutely changed because it is an open competition. The only thing I am still cautious of is, am I being lied to? Because the Tennessee Titans lied to me. They lied to me when they said, it's either Shador, Abdul Carter, Cam Ward, or Travis Hunter. It's going to be one of those four that we're taking. They lied to me when they said that. The Saints lied to me. They lied to me when I heard all those murmurs that they were going to move up potentially to get Shador. Mike Tomlin, I will suggest, lied to me. You know, Shador, hey, he looks really good. It would be awesome to have him. He lied to me. Jerry Jones, I would suggest, lied to me. Everything we knew about Shador led us to believe we should. He lied to me. They all lied to me. So I'm cognizant of the fact that I might be getting lied to right now. I got lied to in the NFL by my organizations, by several of my organizations. I know that's a possibility as well.
Yeah, my opinion stayed the same. You know, and I've noticed this. They're going to gradually keep coming along and agreeing with me. That's how it works in this show. You know what I mean? So I'm cool. I'm cool waiting, right? It went from this, that, and you're slowly coming on board. So now the next step is we're going to see him in training camp. Then we're going to see him in preseason. And you know what you're going to be saying? Hey, man, you look good out there. Let's move into the third position. Now the second position. Eventually, you're going to be a starter. My opinion was always that I think he's the most talented quarterback in that room. And I think he has to prove himself in training camp, and he has to prove himself in preseason that you are the guy. The thing about Shador is he's like the new, in the football equivalent to Caitlin Clark in basketball. Think about the last time we spoke and had this much blocks about the Browns. Right? Every time we talk about the Browns, it's like, yo, man, they gave Watson too much money. Miles Garrett should leave. This, then, the third. We don't even talk about the Browns. Now, every block, whenever I see on TV, is about the Browns. Ain't like they win no games. Why are they talking about the Browns?
Shador Sanders.
Because they know they got a fifth-round quarterback that's really a first-round talent. And that the first time ever that I can remember where a fifth-rounder is now competing for a starting job. Think about what we're talking about.
No doubt.
And another thing about the whole lie to thing, I agree with you on that because, you know, teams lie, right? But when you a team like the Browns, who hasn't been good in a long time, right? You might have a year or there, but overall, you haven't been a really good franchise. We can't play around with not playing this guy because where he was drafted at. We need the best players to play now because we're trying to win. Them coaches up for their job. Every other year, they trying to look for a new coach, depending on how the Browns do. So what I'm saying is, if Shador does well in training camp and he does well in the preseason, get that boy a chance to start and stop messing around with this thing.